In this video, we'll be taking a look at one college football game happening on November 21st, 2024, and providing you with a free team pick and total pick for this game, so 2 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on this one college football game after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start: if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. NC State versus Georgia Tech. As the Atlantic Coast Conference football season begins to wind down, the NC State Wolfpack and Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets are both looking to close out their campaigns on a positive note. Although neither team is currently in contention for a conference title, this matchup is still worth paying attention to, particularly for fans of teams in the middle of the standings. Historically, Georgia Tech holds a 20-11 lead in the all-time series between the two teams, but it was NC State that came out on top the last time they faced off, securing a 23-13 victory at home in 2020. The NC State Wolfpack have posted a 5-5 record this season and are coming off a tough 29-19 loss to Duke. In that game, the Wolfpack managed to erase an early 12-0 deficit, but ultimately allowed Duke to pull away with 17 of the last 24 points in the contest. Despite putting up a respectable total of 268 yards of offense, NC State was outgained by Duke, who tallied 276 yards. Additionally, the Wolfpack struggled with turnovers, losing the turnover battle 2-1, and they were inefficient on third down, converting just 3 of 15 attempts. Prior to the Duke loss, NC State was able to notch 2 impressive victories, defeating Stanford 59-28 and edging California 24-23. On offense, the Wolfpack are averaging 29 points per game, with 240.5 yards coming through the air and 121.6 yards on the ground. However, their defense has been inconsistent, allowing an average of 31 points per game this season. On the other side, the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets are having a solid season with a 6-4 record, including a 4-3 mark in conference play. In their most recent game, the Yellow Jackets defeated Miami 28-23 in a thrilling contest. They led 14-10 at halftime and never relinquished their advantage in the second half. Despite being outgained by Miami 436-370, Georgia Tech capitalized on key moments, including a 1-0 edge in the turnover battle and a solid 9-for-1-4 performance on third downs. Before that victory, the Yellow Jackets suffered losses to Virginia Tech and Notre Dame. On offense, Georgia Tech has been scoring 28 points per game, with 230.9 yards coming through the air and a dominant 186.2 yards on the ground. Their defense has been relatively solid, allowing 22.5 points per game and 334.6 total yards on average. In terms of picking a winner for this game, I lean toward Georgia Tech emerging victorious, especially since they are playing at home. However, it's important to note that the Yellow Jackets have not been known for blowing out their opponents. Out of their 8 games this season against Power 5 schools and Notre Dame, Georgia Tech has yet to secure a win by more than 10 points. Additionally, this game falls between 2 significant matchups for Georgia Tech, as they are coming off a huge upset win over number 4 Miami and have a rivalry game against number 12 Georgia looming in the near future. This situation creates a potential for a letdown after such a big victory and the possibility of looking ahead to their next game. Meanwhile, NC State is still battling for bowl eligibility, sitting at 5-5, and will undoubtedly give their best effort on Thursday night. For NC State, this game represents an opportunity to earn their 6th win of the season, though they will be facing the challenge of playing on the road. The Wolfpack have been inconsistent this season, winning 2 of their last 3 games but failing to establish any real rhythm. Georgia Tech, on the other hand, is coming off a bye week, which gives them extra time to prepare, but they also just defeated Miami, so they should be carrying a lot of positive momentum into this matchup. Even though they had a rough stretch with a loss to Virginia Tech and only a 1-score win in conference play this season, Georgia Tech's defense and ground game remain formidable. NC State's rushing defense, however, should be able to hold its own against Georgia Tech's potent rushing attack, which could keep the Wolfpack in the game. Given these factors, the NC State Wolfpack to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game sit epic. At the beginning of the season, NC State had much higher expectations, but the loss of starting quarterback Grayson McCall, who has since retired retired due to a concussion has forced the team to adjust its goals. Now, their main focus is securing bowl eligibility, which will require at least one more win from their final stretch of games. This includes challenging road matchups at Georgia Tech and North Carolina. While the defense has been solid in some areas, allowing an average of 375.1 total yards per game, they have been relatively strong against the run, giving up only 140.5 rushing yards per game. However, NC State's overall defensive performance has been inconsistent, as they are allowing 30.6 points per game this season. The offense has struggled to find consistency, managing 24 or fewer points in 3 of their last 4 games. Meanwhile, Georgia Tech is coming off a massive victory over the previously unbeaten Miami, defeating them 28-23 as 9.5-point underdogs. Prior to that, the Yellow Jackets had only managed 19 points in their 2 previous games, but their offense came alive against Miami. The under has been a common result for Georgia Tech, hitting in 3 straight games and 5 of the last 6. Overall, the under has cashed in 8 of the team's 10 games this season. Offensively, Georgia Tech is scoring 28 points per game, while defensively they are giving up an average of 22.5 points, with 334.6 total yards allowed and 108.1 rushing yards per game. In terms of the overall game dynamics, Georgia Tech will likely face difficulty in controlling the line of scrimmage against an NC State defensive front that ranks 20th nationally in tackles for loss and has been tough against the run. NC State's defense is also effective on third downs, ranking among the top 40 teams in opponent third down conversion rate and red zone defense. Conversely, the Wolfpack's offensive line has struggled throughout the season to keep opposing defenses at bay, while Georgia Tech's defense ranks in the top 20 in rushing yards allowed and is among the top 50 teams in tackles for loss and opponent third down conversion rate. This game is expected to have a slower pace, as both teams rank toward the lower end of the spectrum in terms of plays per game. Georgia Tech ranks 71st out of 134 teams, averaging 68.4 plays per game, while NC State ranks 117th with just 63.7 plays per game. Although this game won't necessarily be a defensive slugfest, the total is relatively high. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.